Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I'm not gonna lie, I was almost not gonna do any readings today. I have three left, three, and anyway, I just, yeah. It was like the morning started off strong, and then it just kind of gradually just got to be more and more annoying. Just like the day, the energy, the vibe. I actually meant to look up what was going on, in the stars and the transits, like who is being annoying basically. That's too many cards. However, here we are. We're doing Scorpio, sun, moon, rising of course, but and partly because like Scorpio keeps just like brr, brr, brr. It's like, it's not even like that, it's just like this fluttering. It's like a little birdie literally around me, and I think it's because I don't know where it went. Scorpio is hiding, I guess. But I don't have like a little piece of paper. I have all these little pieces of paper, that have every zodiac sign, and Leo is one of the ones that I have left to do. But, I have all of the zodiac signs, all of the human design profiles, and then I just throw it in a bowl and I choose the order in the bowl. And anyway, I realized that Scorpio is nowhere to be found. So I was like, shit, I hope I want to remember to do Scorpio. So I think it's just, it's probably my own little birdie, like, just continuously reminding me not to forget Scorpio. So we're going to do Scorpio. So let's get you an oracle card. I might have to, hold please. We do not have a problem with the female form and, all of that, but YouTube might, and I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm not trying to get banned or, have them not promote my videos, even though I don't think that they do. But anyway, I just wanted to cover up because this one is swimming in her birthday suit against the grain. I love that. I mean, it's so interesting because it does look like they're underwater, right? But then there's these birds, which I guess they could be, like, she could be swimming up to the surface. And it's like, how seagulls will just circle around, crowd around something that they perceive to be food. But it does kind of even have this vulture kind of feeling. I mean, I don't know where that's coming from. But let's get your tarot cards out, and then we will, of course, read about that card and see what's going on for Scorpio. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I immediately thought, I heard to think, put this at the bottom of the deck. So we'll do that, because that was the only one that flipped over, and we need exactly 6 cards. So we have the 6 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, the Emperor, 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. All these pentacles on the bottom, and then the 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 3 of Swords. All right, let me just make sure everything is in frame here, and then we'll start talking about your reading. Okay, so let's see what this Against the Grain card is all about. You look at that. I'll read this. You want birds to be able to fly underwater. Oh, okay. So that is what that is. You want love to trump power. You want humanity to relate to each other as equals and to recognize the sacredness in you and in the world around you. You want to unleash the beauty that hides in even the ugliest of scenes or sentiments. You want to make possible what others say cannot be. You are a radical dreamer, a sacred rebel, and you bring the light of a more positive future to the world. However, this can have its burdens. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's what the Five of Cups and the Ten of Wands is, which is actually really kind of interesting. Let's see. Okay. Okay. However, this can have its burdens. Okay, I just said that. Deep within you may feel that you really don't fit in with the rest of the world. Perhaps your sense of how things can be and how they really are is so different to the smaller minds and more fearful hearts of many others that you are rarely received for all that you offer. This might make you feel frustrated, thwarted, and lonely at times. The universe so loves you for your unusual take on things, for the quirkiness in you that dares to honor that which is different and renders the impossible possible. You must never, ever lose your unusual ways and become dry, serious, appropriate, and conventional. Not even for appearance. Why can I not say that word? Not even for appearance sake. Why can I not? Okay. For you would lose your essence. You are here to show that life is about so much more than conventional success. This oracle comes with a special message for you. You are someone who lives and breathes in the depths of creative waters. You need to lose yourself in the flow of music, nature, dreams, imagination, and fantasy. Through art and literature, meditation, dance, and in sensual surrender to the sacred waters of the ocean, the river, the lake, or the bathtub. You must go against the grain. It is just your way. You are not one of the followers, but one of the agitators. However, yours is not a force of disrespectful chaos. You are a loving catalyst, and by simply being yourself, you constantly remind people that there is always another way. This oracle comes with a particular message that you are meant to be exactly as you are. You are meant to be the black sheep, the rainbow sheep, or even a wild wolf in a flock of sheep. The daring butterfly spirit calling to the caterpillars, that is you. The price you pay for the gift of individuality is that you must take care of it and guard it so that you are not dulled down and conditioned into playing at being something you are not. If this has happened or is threatening to happen, this oracle brings you comfort. You will always dream of birds that fly underwater. You know that the true nature of your being can never be changed. At most, it can only be hidden for a time. Now is the time to accept who you are and allow your truths to be freely expressed. Don't worry about the effects of going against the grain. When we are who we are in truth, we attract the support, protection, and energy that we need to thrive. Your power comes from aligning your outward self with your inward truth, not with a general consensus. You will then find other dreamers, other wild butterflies, and atypical colored sheep to join you in conjuring better visions of the world. Yes, please. Yeah, please. Please do that. Truly, I mean, I feel like that's even so Scorpio. I mean, it also feels a little like Aquarius in a way, but just in the way of, going against the grain. And I feel like the Aquariuses that I know, they're like anything mainstream, they're like gross, which I love, So anyway, I feel like in general, though, we need more. We need more authenticity. We need more people that are just owning their own power, owning their own truth, even realizing what their identity is, because no doubt, I mean, there's no person that has, escaped childhood unscathed, right? I mean, big, small, otherwise, as far as like trauma goes, but we all were conditioned by our environment, by our, our guardians, our traditions, our cultures, whatever society, type of thing. So, like as you get older, and even when we are children, right? I remember, like, I went to Catholic school through 8th grade. I didn't have a choice, right? Like, that wasn't my decision to go through all of that, but I remember in 3rd grade sitting in church, and for whatever, I don't even remember what the actual like scenario was, but I remember deciding then in 3rd grade that this is not for me. I don't believe in this. Whatever, and I don't hold it against anybody else, right? I mean, do what you want to do. But for me, it wasn't that. I had to still go through the motions, right? Like my parents were the ones that were making those decisions. And it wasn't until I was an adult, like literally 16, 17, 18-ish, and beyond, where that at that point I could do my own research. I could, I was having conversations with friends that of different backgrounds and cultures and whatever, and coming to my own, decisions and conclusions on things. And even at my ripe old geriatric age now, I still find myself every once in a while going down that rabbit hole of, what do I believe? So anyway, that's just like all of that was to say that there might have been, because like it was saying in the book, like you can conform for a time, and maybe there was a time in your life where you did have to conform, and you knew it was uncomfortable, you knew it wasn't true for you, whatever it was, right? But now it's saying that the energy is available for you to express yourself truthfully, right? I mean, to you though, whatever is true for you. And I love that because we start with a 6 of Cups, which is the card of the past. It's nostalgia. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about things, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the people in our lives, how we feel about what we're doing. It's our connection to love, right? How do we give it? How do we receive it, more importantly? Heart center. And like I said, the 6 of Cups is the card of the past. So this can be inner child. It could be your childhood. It could be relationships, of course, of your past too. There's 2 people on this card. This is also a card of acts of kindness. But there's definitely something from the past that is coming back up for you. Or it's like it's wrapping around. And I mean, maybe it's something that you held on to, but it's like you held on to in secret is how this is feeling, because this person is like kind of hiding behind the Pentacles. And so Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our physical time. Like, where are we showing up in our lives? What are we spending our time doing? It's our health, our physical body. It's literally anything in the 3D. It's anything that we place value on, anything that has worth, including ourselves. And the 4 of Pentacles is holding on too tight. I mean, we could see this guy. I'm assuming, I guess it's a guy. We can see them. They have their feet on those 2 pentacles, and then sorry, we got interrupted. My dog started freaking out. So, okay. So, they have their feet on 2 pentacles. They're holding 2 other pentacles, and they're sitting on a stack of pentacles. So this card talks about literally holding on too tight, but it's holding on too tight, like to your detriment. It is not helping you. And it's almost like this is the place where that scarcity or lack mindset is birthed from, because it's kind of like developing this fear that if you were to let go of any of these pentacles, that could be a change in your routine. It could be a change in the way that you even express yourself, like physically, right? I mean, like it could be your looks. It could also be what you spend your money on, right? Like how you spend your time, all the things that I was talking about with pentacles, right? So the Four of Pentacles, it has this like fear that if you were to let go of these pentacles that you've been holding on to so tight, that they're not going to be replicated or they're not going to be reproduced. And, so again, it's where that scarcity mindset comes from, because, I have this much money, and I'm just going to use money as an example, but I have this much money in my account. And if I spend this much money, then I'm going to have this, like remainder. And it's the fear that you're not going to be able to replace what you've spent, or that you're not going to get a return on it. So I always kind of think too of like bending a hose. And when you turn the hose on, like there might be some water that gets through the hose, but not a lot, right? And so it's almost like it's to your detriment to kink the hose, right? But if you let it go, all this pressure buildup is behind it too. So it just kind of like sprays out like crazy before it, evens out or balances out. So again, like with this paired with the Six of Pentacles, it's either one, you feel contained or constricted or restricted even in a certain capacity, like you were maybe in the past, or there is something from your past coming up regarding restriction for you to address. And we have the Three of Wands next, which is, in this card, it's your ships coming in. So wands have to do with action, the motivation behind the actions that we take. It's creativity, passion. How are you communicating those things? What actions are you taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information, because that's what you get by trying things, right? You figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do you like, what don't you like, what stays, what goes, right? And I truly believe that the only way to figure those things out is by actually trying things. Because we can try thinking our way through a situation and be like, I already know it's going to go this way based on, a prior experience, speaking of Six of Cups. However, this even feels like a different experience coming in. This feels like new information coming in. Because sometimes, like when we do that, when we kind of have that frame of mind or, whatever, like it prevents us from actually even doing anything, because we already know how it's going to go. But do we? I mean, even if it does go exactly the way that you think that it did, like it is still a lesson. It is still information, which is wands. And technically, kind of really, should we, do we even need to continue to try to do things the same exact way? Like, and especially if we're in that frame of mind anyway, right? Like if we're like, we already know how it's going to go based on this past experience, then clearly there hasn't been a learned lesson. Like, don't go about it the same way again, right? Like if you already know it's going to go that way, if those are the actions that you take, don't do that. Don't take those same actions. We're looking for different results here. And like I said, this card specifically, it feels like a new experience. It feels like a different experience than what you've had in the past. So we start with the Ace of Wands, which is, that spark. It's like, something inspirational, something new, shows up that you get really excited to take action towards. The Two of Wands is starting to plan. What are the possibilities? What do I want to do? How do I want to take action? What are all the different ways that I can do that? The Three of Wands is when we start taking those actions. So again, right, like this person is here waiting for this ship That ship is here now too. So there's definitely some aspect, it could have even been information that you have been needing or wanting or searching for, or even just whatever the experience is, it hits you differently where you're like, oh, that's, 2 plus 2 equals 4, you know. That's how you got to that or whatever, right? I mean, it's something about this new information coming in, and especially because we have the 10 of Pentacles, and I thought this was, did I say Page of Pentacles? This is a Page of Wands. I thought, and didn't I say at the beginning, like all these pentacles on the bottom? Anyway, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. So 10s are completion. It's reaching a level of success. And specifically, like, well, this card also talks about generational wealth, legacy. It is even a little bit of tradition in that aspect. But this card, how it's been coming through to me, because it's come out actually a few times. So we have this hand that looks to be a little older. We have this hand that looks to be younger, right? And they're not actually even holding on to each other. They're not holding hands. This hand looks like it's letting go. This hand looks like it's, or, it looks like this hand is like slipping out of the other hand to me, right? Like, does it look that way to you? I mean, of course, if it looks different to you, great. I mean, that's definitely a message for you. Listen to yourself. But it's interesting because the only thing keeping these two hands together are the roots between those two hands in that tree. But it feels like, to me, this card, every time it's come out, has felt like breaking from tradition. It could even be starting a new tradition. Like with your own community, with your own chosen family, but it's like if there was something that you did not agree with, there's no reason, there's no obligation, even if your family or whoever makes you believe otherwise, there's no obligation to continue just because there's roots there. It's one thing to remember where you came from, but it's another thing to let that just squeeze the absolute life and soul out of you when you know that you want different, you believe different, whatever. So again, like I said, right, there's this ship coming in, whatever that ship is for you. It could literally be anything, depending on your situation. There's something coming in finally, or like something reaching you finally. And that's going to create this opportunity for success, or even to break from what is traditionally your family's expectation. But it's also, because it is a 10, it is also an opportunity for you to successfully create a lineage, a legacy for yourself and for your children, if you have them, if you want them, your community, like I said, family chosen or otherwise. So yeah, I love that. And then we have the Emperor next, and this is like taking charge of your life. Like, the Emperor is not going to be told what to do. The Emperor tells people what to do, right? So I've heard the Emperor described as all four kings in one card. So again, you think you're going to tell a king what to do? Like, they're a king because, right? I mean, like, they are the leader. They are the authority. This is Aries or Mars. So, Mars is also the ruling planet of Scorpio. So this could very much be you as well. Although, it's kind of the ram thing, but Mars, either way. The North Node is in Aries right now. Chiron is in Aries right now. So depending on what house Aries is for you, that might be your 6th house if you're a rising Scorpio. So yeah, your daily routines, your health, work is also like, in the 6th house. So then Libra would be your 12th house if you're, again, a Scorpio rising. That's where the South Node would be. So there's something, some belief system, some even like subconscious, whatever that is like kind of just been buried in your subconscious, that, the energy is available to release those things and take more control of your life. Being more even involved is what I was hearing, like not just feeling like it's out of your control what you do or what you want to do, right? It's making a decision like, this is what I see for my life. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to go do, right? Or I'm at least going to go try, because we have the Page of Wands afterwards. So with this information that comes with the 3 of Wands, and I'm only saying that too because, I mean, these are the 2 Wands cards that are on the table, but the Page of Wands, they're like getting materials, they're gathering, it's like preparation to build a campfire. So again, I mean, they're taking action. They're even if it's baby steps, whatever it is though, right? I mean, they're going out and they're finding the proper sticks, the proper whatever, in order to build this fire. And when we get to the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands is actually holding this little fire in his hands. So I know we don't have the Knight of Wands out here yet, but that was all just to say, like, this preparatory thing, like taking, again, making the decision and then starting to take steps. Starting to build your own little campfire. And then we have the 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And this does speak to grief, mourning, depression. It's like there are these 3 cups here that have spilt out, and this person is focusing solely on these 3 cups. And, their sadness over those 3 cups, but there's still these 2 cups next to them. So, the message with the 5 of Cups is that, yes, grieving is definitely part of the process, and you might experience some sort of loss that is going to put you in a funky, kind of down mood. However, also realize that, for one, these 3 cups were not serving you. They had to go. And of course, like, losing any type of connection is sad, really. But it is like, it's clearing out. Like I think I said a couple minutes ago, what is no longer serving you. It's not aligned with you anyway. And they don't get it. They're not going to get it. They don't even need to, really, right? They really don't. But, I mean, it may come through as like judgment or feeling judged or criticized. I think the book maybe mentioned something along those lines, but it's more of an I statement from them. Like, it's their own insecurity that they're projecting. And it's probably a bit of envy that you would be choosing to express yourself authentically, and there's no way that they could. At least not yet. You might inspire them to. However, again, there are these 2 cups. All is not lost. And even like the book was saying too, right? Like the right people, the right mentor, the right whatever will show up for you exactly when you need it. We have the 10 of Wands behind. 10 again is completion. There's an end to a burden. And again, I see these wands as being information, life lessons, the things that you picked up along the way. And it can be a bit of a burden, but this person they're in motion. They're deciding to take their life lessons and move forward. They're not going to continue to stay in a situation that is burdensome to them. They got what they needed to get out of the situation. They have, even if it doesn't necessarily feel like closure, like, you know, if people are putting you in this type of energy, that's all the information that you need. And it is time to move forward. And you can do so quickly with the Eight of Wands. I mean, maybe moving, because I just heard like migration in my head. Like, I mean, maybe you decide to move. You know, I mean, it could just be to the other side of town. I don't know about you, but like I moved, like I don't know about you and your like friends or whatever, but like I moved like an hour or so away from the majority of my friends, and a majority of those friends I don't have anymore because somehow an hour drive was too far for them at the time. But the expectation was for me to drive that hour every and any time that we would hang out. So, and I did it for a while. I did it for too long, actually, probably. And then I just got burnt out from driving that much. And so I stopped going up there as often. And, you know, like I'd ask them if they wanted to do stuff like in my town where I lived. And they didn't. And so, because they didn't want to drive an hour. So, like I said, like I don't have those friendships anymore. And it literally just took moving an hour away. You know, so that's what I'm just saying that because with the Eight of Wands, I was feeling like a move, or like I said, I heard migration in my head. So maybe you are just kind of moving to a different part of town. I mean, it certainly can be out of state. Like those birds were flying over some mountains, so you could actually be like moving a distance. But the Eight of Wands talks about like fast moving communication. Things could start moving pretty quickly for you. It's almost kind of like you make a decision and you just go for it type of thing. So that could also be it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.